Are we live?
Hello,
Yes, we are
everybody.
now.
We're live now. Welcome to a Right Royal Jam. I'm so sorry we're a bit delayed. We're having a bit of a chat, catching up on some information. It's very interesting. So welcome, Tina, again. Tina's
Hi,
here.
everyone.
Paula's here as well, the wonderful Paula. She's joined us this evening. Very excited to have her on. And Cynthia's here as well. She'll be back with us in a second. So thank you for last night as well, whoever was in the Royal Mess. I got quite a few subscribers last night, so I was very happy with that. And it was really fun, actually. Oh God, my phone's going off. It was really interesting having Samantha Markle on. And she had a lot to say. I don't know if anyone got a chance to watch it. But it would be really good if you could catch up and watch that again. I was on there for about 3 hours last night, girls. By the end of it, I was like, I've got to go, Ron. I'm so sorry. I'm just really tired.
It was.
How was your day today, Tina?
It's been lovely. We went out with my husband's work, and all the families got together and played rounders, and the sun was out in the UK, and you got to grab it while you can because it's raining tomorrow, you know?
I know. I was at a wedding today and had to come home and have a nap before we went live. I just couldn't. I had only had 2 beers, but it completely wiped me out. And I was
day drinking. I had a bottle of wine today, and I'm like, I don't know I'm going to be able to do this live.
No, I know. I come back. I said, I've got to go to sleep. Even if it's for half an hour, just a little nap. How about you, Paula? How was your day?
You know what?
Morning.
I don't know. It's been so exhausting. I did my members live. I do it every Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was gonna put out a video, but I thought, for some reason I am so exhausted. I finally got the raffle money, so I went to buy all the stuff, and we were working last night because it's the proper winter for us. It's rainy season. It rains a lot. So, so in the cement, we don't buy the expensive cement, which is fast dry. And so we buy the regular one because it's cheaper. So when it rains, it takes forever to dry. So we're literally working against time, And then I fell down up in the roof because I was up in the roof, and I don't know if I fractured something because I feel something crack here, but it's really painful. But other than that, I mean, I'm happy. Everything's going okay. I mean, I love it when it rains here. Everything is so green. It's still 34 degrees, 35, 36 degrees.
Wow. Because your avocados over there are massive, aren't they? I have never seen an avocado like it. Unbelievable.
Avocados, and I'm going to cut them on air so you guys can see.
Yes.
Is anything else as big as that out there?
Well, we have the papayas. The papayas are like
oh my
mangoes,
goodness.
Pineapples. I mean, breadfruit, I think you call them. I'm not sure how you call it. It's called guanabana, which is great for cancer. Red flesh dragon fruit, which I eat quite a lot.
Yeah, dragon fruit.
But it's the red flesh, not the white flesh, because you have dragon fruit with white flesh. Bleh. But the red flesh, the red dragon fruit with red flesh inside is very tasty and very good for you. So yeah, I do that.
We get rubbish apple trees in the UK. We can get anything exotic like that. Strawberries, apple trees, and what else is there? Raspberry bushes.
You can pick rhubarb at the local farm.
Oh, rhubarb. Like, so I see your avocados. I'm like, oh my God, even your fruit is exciting.
I live in northern Canada. We get shit. We get strawberries at the grocery store.
Blackberries, that's it, KLG, yeah. Blackberries. We get raspberries, get blackberries.
Welcome, Cynthia, all the way from Canada.
Hey.
How's your day been today?
It's actually beautiful. It's sunny. At some point, I'm going to get in my gardens. I will say this about where I live. Because we're a little more north in the summertime, the sun comes up at about 4:45 in the morning, and it goes down at about 10:45 at night. So we get like more sun. So we have beautiful, I do flower gardening. So I have beautiful gardens. I just don't grow fruits and vegetables. People here do very well. It's shocking. But I smuggled some cherry tree blossom seeds home from Washington.
I hear Canada is absolutely beautiful. I like to go there one day.
It is.
Yeah, I want to go to Canada.
Whereabouts are you in Canada?
I'm in Alberta, northern Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nowhere near the Niagara Falls, is it? That's nearer.
No, Alberta is way the opposite.
That's quite far. Have you been there?
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
When I was like a kid, I flew over it.
Is it
You
as
know
good
what?
as
I used to
is it
plant
as spectacular as I imagine it to be?
It is beautiful. I've been
Yeah.
there many times. You know what?
Yeah.
One of my jobs one of my jobs when I was going through university in Canada, they would hire you to plant the tulips for the next year, so that you would have certain designs. So before winter started, you would plant the bulbs and you would
Yeah.
plant the colors here. They would give you a map of the colors. So next year, when the spring came, all the tulips with the colors would come, and like spring. So that was one of my jobs, and I used to do it in Niagara Falls because it was like parks and
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
stuff like that. Yeah, I know. So I used
Oh,
to
We
that's
do
get
that.
really
beautiful
interesting.
lilies grow. I have lilies all throughout my flower beds. They grow amazing up here, like shocking well. You just have to take a little extra care in the winter, but because we get that extra bit of sunshine throughout the summer months, that couple extra hours a day really adds up for the flowers. You get, and I'm a lawn
Oh,
snob too,
wow.
right? So I'm that asshole on the block with the lawn where I'm like, haha, mine's greener than yours with less weeds. That's me.
You're really proud of your garden.
When I'm
That's
not
good.
doing this,
That's
did I
yeah.
tell you
I do love plants, but unfortunately I don't have a garden, so I've got a few pots, and that's about it. It's very sad, very depressing.
did I tell you
Anyway,
I had
go on.
a follower send me some things.
Oh, some seeds.
No, some King Charles honey in a jar of jam.
Oh, really? And what was that like? Because I haven't tasted it.
I haven't cracked it open yet. I'm like, do I open it? Do I try
Or keep it
it?
as a memento.
Or do I keep
Wow. So have you tried?
New ornaments.
Have you got hold of Megan's at all? So you can
I'm
do a
not one of her
comparison.
special-
Why
I'm
would you want that?
special-
That is
I'm not one of her
We could do
special
a taste
50
test.
friends. I'm not one of her special 50 friends.
Okay.
And she
Was that
still
what-
has no products. So
Yeah, that's the one. The fact that all that and there's no products to actually buy. What a waste. A bit like Invictus and Whistler on a mountain a year before it even happens. It's they're literally just slinging mud. And then it's just crazy. No business sense whatsoever.
So her jam is not available to buy at the moment.
No, she has no products. If you go to Arrow, if you go to her website, it just says coming soon and then subscribe. That's it.
She's just mining details from people. That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
She's just mining the people's details and stuff like that. I don't go to her website.
I've not been there.
When was her launch date?
The day that Harry had to do a joint sort of for Diana's legacy memorial.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
So that's why. You know what's happened there. He had that. So she's rushed it through. So it hits at the same time. And how sad that Harry is getting ready to put, and I know he deserves everything he gets at this point. This is what he chose. But how sad on that day where he's not even in the same room as his brother. His brother, fair play to William for just leaving the room before he even come online. But it got took over by American Riviera. It don't flow, does it? American Riviera Orchard.
I'm like, are we selling applesauce? Like,
it's bizarre to have a website without any products. If you've been kind of in putting out your jams, you would have thought there'd be a batch ready to go, right?
Yeah. Even I on Facebook, look, this is my Facebook page for my business, right? For my agricultural business. So even I look at that. I have my, I have how do you plant the papayas, how to start from everything. I have the product, this is, and I'm a nobody here, I have all these things, how we're picking up and doing that, how the papayas are going.
Oh, look at
that. You know what though, Paula?
That's so good.
What you do is your baby, it's your business, you care, everything's gone into that. And this is the thing with Meghan and Harry. Whatever they do, it's just been given to them. It's just been handed to them. They don't care about it. They've not built it from bottom up.
But it's amazing because even I, Tina, know that you have to have all your, before I got to that, before I even put my website, I went to the agricultural department. I had everything certified. I had to have everything work together, all the permits for export, all of this together. So when I offered my product and when I showed everything, it was ready to go for people to buy,
Carry
sorry,
on.
I have my private clinical business and I have a website for my clinical practices and stuff like that. And I mean, like, I did not hit publish until I was ready for either some emails or phone calls from folks saying, hey, are you available to provide services? Product, like I had everything that I can provide, the cost provided for them, how we can find funding or benefits or whatever to cover those costs. I was ready to go. Even when I moved away from another clinic and I just sort of went back out on my own again, I messaged everybody that I've worked with, every client that I had from that clinic that I knew was going to follow me. And I said, give me about 3 weeks to get my shit together and to sort of put myself back into being on my own again. And I'll reach out to you as soon as I'm ready, but give me a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like, I just, like, my business is my lifeline. Like, you know, my name
but
is
that's it. It's not their lifeline, is it? It's not their lifeline.
Not at
all.
An
arrow to me is just a bit of a sideline to show that they're not going to spend their life going on about the royal family, even though you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be a genius to see American Riviera Orchard and the fact it's pretty much selling cream tea to people, that they are hanging on the royal family even
when I got hang on.
I think people are sick of talking about the jam. But
when I got my jar of High Grove, I now see she 100% copied.
Yeah.
100%.
But it's a cheap copy because, I mean,
you can't even get around it. Like, there's no getting around it. When you look at the logos, when you look at the script writing, when you look at it, it is 100% a cheap copy.
You know, when you've got this opportunity and you've got all these links and you've got all this money behind you, you'd think you'd want to come up with an original idea because you've got the resources to do that. So it would be, and it's going to the big wide world. It's not just a small business setup. So it doesn't make sense.
She doesn't have her own ideas.
You would have thought she would have hired an ideas man.
But she has stuff. For example, when she was ready to launch, she should have had stuff already with all the permits,
ready to go,
done, all the sticks, everything. And then you do and what you do is you get your 50 friends. Once you have everything ready, you're launching that day. You launch with the people unveiling that. You get it, you got your product and you sell it on there, and then you go talk to your friends and you go on the because she has that kind of access. So she would have had like the same day she launched her 50 friends or her 10 friends launching that thing, you know, everything would have been done at once. And this is where you buy it online or Target. Remember, because which one is it that she has her coffee at?
Target.
What happened to that? What happened to the coffee? Lemonada. The list is endless.
It's endless.
You heard the last thing, right? I'm going to play it for you. This is the First Lady of Nigeria. I don't know if you heard this one.
That is, they're all beautiful girls, but they should be confident to know they are. They don't want to be like, even they're mimicking, trying to emulate film stars from America. They don't know where they come from. Why did Megan come here looking for Africa?
Wait 1 second. Let me show you. Oh shit! Let me play you.
I don't know if I'm going to get a copyright for that, Paula.
No.
But they should be confident to know they are. They don't want to be like, even they are mimicking and trying to emulate.
Oh no! I want to show you. I want to show you the one that I want to show you is the one where she says, "Oh, here we go."
We have to salvage our children. You know, we see the way they dress. They keep forgetting that Nigeria, we are beautiful. The moment you can see what they showcase on the stage, I said we are passionate, but we see what is going on. You know, we are not having a Met Gala. And everyone, their nakedness is just everywhere. And the men are well clothed. So we have to do something. Tell them the way it is. We don't accept nakedness in our culture. That is not beautiful.
Yeah.
Who's the lady speaking?
First Lady of Nigeria.
Oh, really? Okay, so she's a bit peed off.
Is this recent? Is this about Meghan?
Like, even the to emulate film stars from America. They don't know where they come from. Why did Megan come here looking for Africa? That is something we have to take home with. We know who we are, and don't lose who you are.
So I work with
Absolute respect.
I work with a couple ladies that are from Nigeria. They sit in my little fourplex of open workspace. They are amazing women. Amazing women. They oh my God, the food they bring to work is amazing. They're amazing women, and they're beautiful, and they're so proud of their culture. And we're always looking at fashion stuff. We're always looking at, like, the one lady, she's like, look at what she's wearing. Megan should have called somebody in Nigeria and said, hey, set me up with outfits. Set me up with a local designer or somebody who can dress me. Make sure that I'm culturally appropriate, because what she wore there is completely inappropriate. Mm-hmm. All the women around her were beautiful, wearing traditional colors.
The head things and properly dressed.
And their skin was covered. I actually work with quite a few ladies from Nigeria. Even in the summertime, they're not in shorts. They're wearing beautiful loose fitting silk tops with, like, kind of looser fitting silk bottoms and sandals. Like, their hair is in braids. Their hair is like, they're beautiful women, and they actually brag about their bodies. These women are not Ozempic skinny. No. These women are beautiful, and it is a thing of pride. Means I can have a gajillion children for you because I got a booty and I got some boobs. Like, I got, and she shows up there Ozempic scrawny in that,
sticking out her sternum, because that's all she has is sternum. She doesn't, those damn titties.
Awful zebra printed dress thing that she wore, where I was like, whoa,
the zebra printed
so many holes. Did you see that dress had so many holes? She wasn't enough that she was, like, sticking her sternum. She has no tits, so she's sticking out her sternum because that's all she has, and it's like a hole in the middle, completely naked on the back, and not content with that, she split up her, showing those tits that she calls legs.
So
but the thing is, for the Nigerian women, and they say, like, nakedness is, they are proud of their body.
Yeah.
No matter what shape or form. They're, if anything, they are like the feminists, like, where they just really celebrate who they are and where they come from and everything. And that snake leopard print dress she wore, she couldn't be any close to naked if she tried.
It's horrible.
Do you know what though? I do think I think her dress sense was okay, but for where she was, her actual outfits weren't appropriate, right?
Victoria,
if she was in America, it would have been different, right?
Yeah.
But you would have thought she would have adopted the Nigerian dress, because actually, if you are 43% Nigerian, I think the first thing you'd want to do is really embrace
honor your heritage.
Culture. And I know a lot of Jamaican ladies that still buy African dress, because that is actually their heritage anyway. And obviously Jamaica is, that's there's a different story behind that in the Caribbean. So Africa's the roots, and a lot of people embrace their roots, and I just find it fascinating that she didn't go in that direction instead of being as Americanized and very kind of sexy and sultry. And she looked good, but was it right for that occasion?
But then why are we shocked?
She didn't look good at all in those clothes. They're not appropriate. They're not appropriate for the occasion. The dresses may be nice, but they're not nice on her. And those dresses were not appropriate for the occasion. She doesn't have the body, but she doesn't have the body to carry those dresses. She doesn't have any bust. She doesn't have any legs. And, even that zebra dress was not appropriate for the occasion. Even if that occasion had been in the United States, it's a professional thing with a government employee that you're doing that. Yeah. You're not going to go with a naked beach dress wearing sandals when you're going to the White House. Would you do that? It's just the lack of respect that she had towards those people.
What really kind of annoyed me with her whole look in Nigeria, her hair. So she naturally has very curly, she's got her mom's hair. Like she definitely has that side of the family's hair. And I'm like, of all the chance you had to be proud, to go to a school full of Nigerian little girls and show your hair, Hair is
See, I
huge in
thought she
many
had. I
cultures.
thought she had more European hair, so she's got afro hair.
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
Very
Afro.
Oh, she does, because no, as a
Afro.
child she does have afro
Oh,
hair. Yes, you're
yeah.
right. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
got
No, I remember
beautiful
now.
curly
If I
hair.
could
And
show you a picture of this
It's a
woman,
wig.
yeah,
it's
It's a
how
wig.
the little girls, I mean, talk about colonialism. I'm going to see if I can send it to myself
yeah.
because you don't know how to share the screen yet, do you, Victoria?
I can share screen. Yeah. What would you like me to share?
Well, there's a picture. I'll send it to you by WhatsApp.
Okay.
There's a picture of this is them at the school. Look how none of the kids are smiling.
No.
None
But
of
they
the kids
don't
are
show-
smiling. No, but this is very, very interesting because this
It's
is
a
the
respect
side
thing,
that
though,
nobody
too.
saw. Hmm?
There's a bit of a respect thing there too, though, that the kids are kind of lined up and they're told, stand, be nice.
No, they're not lined up. They're not lined up there.
But
Even with Catherine and William, they're smiling. They're excited. They want to talk
the
to them. They
fence
wanna
line
see
thing.
them.
Did you see the fence line thing? Oh my God. So somebody did a comparison of the fence thingy. So when they went to, was it the polo match? They went to the polo match and there was that fence. And Catherine and William took huge heat because there was a fence there. And people were like, oh my God, they don't want to mix with the commoners and blah, blah, blah. There's no choice. The fence is there. They don't have a choice. This is the polo people put the fence up there. But Catherine and William went to the fence line and were touching people and shaking hands and saying hello and accepting flowers and teddies and stuff like that. And they were engaging with the people. Harry and Meghan were
Didn't even acknowledge them.
40 flipping feet away from that fence.
Yeah.
And Meghan was just like, where's the camera? I'm here for the camera. Oh, people. Ew. Ew. Jesus.
Black people.
Don't want those folks.
Black
Where's
people.
the camera? Where's the government people? Where's all the wealthy people? Ew. Again, people, please get rid of them. Didn't even acknowledge them. Nothing.
No.
I sent you the picture, Victoria.
Oh, you sent it to me. I did notice that actually, and I did think she seems very standoffish.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it is a lot of hard work for her to do the rounds, but she knows it's good for publicity, so she's going, well, go on then if I have to do it.
Well,
But
she
she's not like she was wearing the sunglasses.
She
The
thinks
sunglasses
it's
avoid any intimacy of you looking at people by wearing those sunglasses. This is why Catherine, people say, why don't they wear sunglasses? Because they need people to see their eyes to make eye contact. Megan is wearing the big sunglasses, pretending that she's what's it called, this Gabor lady, you know, that says a Gabor with the sunglasses, that she's a huge superstar, you know, with the glasses. That immediately is a barrier for people to contact you, to see you. That is a big no-no. When you're going to a place and you're being hosted by somebody, you know, like, you have to squint a little bit, you know, you wear a hat, but you squint a little bit, you know, but there's absolutely no contact, nothing. I mean, everything she did. And in regards to her phoning anybody in Nigeria, I can guarantee you, Victoria, that this woman was given a dress code. She just said, screw it, I'm not going to wear it. Because she knows
the thing is, though, there's nothing that says then the First Lady of Nigeria coming out to call that crap out. You know, like it just shows the lack of respect that
because do you remember,
blatant.
do you remember when Catherine and William went to Pakistan and Catherine was sitting on the ground and she had that beautiful silk dress on that she had a designer there make, and her feet wound up kind of poking out, and she caught herself and she's like, whoop, and she was like tucking her feet back under because culturally they don't show their feet.
No, because that's rude. That's very vulgar to show you the sole of your feet with your host.
She caught herself. She wore a respectful scarf over her hair. She looked amazing doing it because she got the dossier that said, here's the rules. Here's what we would like to see. And she read it and went, okay, cool.
And if you look when she went to that WTO with that corrupt director general who's a sellout, she's wearing that red dress, showing her pubic bone and a lack of titties, and you know, no slip, nothing. The dress is so slim, you can see her pubic bone. What's it called? Megan's mom and I were talking because I didn't know what that bulge was, and she goes, "That's her pubic bone. That's how scrawny she is." But then she has a stomach as well, you know, and she's all square, but she shows up where you can see everybody covered up in the room, you know, with their beautiful things and, you know, like proper. But even if the dress were nice, it's not correct for the occasion because this is a World Trade Organization seminar. But this is the lack of respect, because I can guarantee you that Rachel Meghan Markle would not have dressed like that. She didn't dress like that when she went and spoke to the United Nations thing, did she?
The thing is, though, are we surprised? Because the reality is she came into the UK and even her husband's family, she didn't have the respect for. So you know, the bar's been set pretty there, isn't it? So Nigeria, is she gonna have respect? Has she even got the levels of respect? If you can do what they've done on the world stage, and she may see it as good PR in the moment. Now, in the moment, we see all the puff pieces come out and how amazing, and Harry and Meghan. But in the aftermath of that, you see them walking past all the kids, and the kids just being like forced to stand there. You see them, you know, the kids behind the fences. You see the reality, you know, of what, and it's a disaster. But they will try and blow it up and puff it up. But I like to see how she's going to twist the First Lady of Nigeria coming out in just absolutely.
I mean, when did she come out with that? Was that today?
Yesterday.
Wow.
But it's dangerous what they're doing.
It wasn't, from what I understand, it was an event of beautiful women, Nigerian women. This is what she said on stage. They were all covered up. It was some sort of event, and you saw all these Nigerian girls come on stage, and then she's talking how everybody has to feel confident in themselves, that they don't have to be naked. They don't have to emulate anybody, you know, because they like their girls covered in Nigeria. They don't like them naked, you know, showing skin, you know, they want their girls covered, you know, that even the men, she said, and if you look at it, Meghan went with that zebra dress. She shouldn't have she shouldn't have shaken that man's hand, because women are not supposed to shake the man's hands, especially if they're Muslim. I remember one time there was a huge uproar when Catherine went with William in London to visit, like something that it was like a Muslim thing, and they shook Catherine's hand, and Catherine, you know, put her hand out, and then she cut herself because the man didn't shake her hand, and everybody condemned the guy. But it's just their culture; they don't shake the woman.
You don't shake men's hands.
You know, and I remember that was in the press everywhere. And then Meghan pushes Harry, tells him, "I'm gonna go here," and then shakes the man and sticks her sternum out because she has no tits. And the men, you can see, and the men, out of respect to the men, you know, to Harry, you know, they're not gonna do that. It's because she's also a guest.
You would have thought she would have been informed about the, you know,
but she doesn't.
She doesn't care.
Like, look at the royal family.
But that just looks really ignorant,
like,
though, doesn't it? Does she not care about how she comes across? You know, because these things get picked up on.
No,
because in her head, no matter what she does, she's doing everything right. She's treating people.
But then, don't you think Harry? Wouldn't he think, right, come on, Meghan, you need to like up your game a bit? I've been around for a while.
Her appearances when she did that show where she talked with this other black lady, and then went to New York, and it was she's talking. I'm not a political. She's copying Diana. I'm a humanitarian. She's wear properly with a black suit. When she went to Ellen, she's wearing long sleeves. When she went with Oprah, she's wearing. Look, when she went on Kevin Costner, she covered herself up with that horse thing, you know. She shows respect. When she went on Larry King,
the Inspector Gadget outfit.
When she went on Larry King, she's wearing appropriate clothes, because that's how she shows respect. When she went on, look at this. Remember when she did that guy with Jonathan Ross? I think it is, that she's almost half naked with that
little black dress.
That's because her idea is, I'm gonna, you know, that's her idea.
Woo them.
To charm people, and you know, because that was a night dress, that was a night appearance. It was kind of appropriate. It was a little bit too revealing, but still, it's a talk show host. But she's like sitting there literally with a slip, you know. But if you look, when she went on Larry King, she dressed appropriately. When she went on United Nations, that she did that speech, it was appropriate. When she went, so when she goes to places like Nigeria, it's because when she went to the White House that Ron Burkle took her, she was dressed appropriately. You know, but when she goes to Nigeria, because that's how little she thinks of them, that's how disrespectful this woman is. She's going to wear what she wants to wear because she thinks that they're nobodies. Because if she had any respect for them, she would have dressed up. You shouldn't see her going almost naked on Oprah.
The thing is, though, you just know as well, where you're saying about Harry, does he not get, you just know it's going to be like, how dare you tell me what to wear? I will wear what I want. I'm a strong, independent woman. Your mom was told what to wear. I was told by your family what to wear. I was stuck in muted downtowns. How's my muted down dress? Just like that, you can. I just see it so much. Like,
do you think he's a bit afraid of her, though?
Afraid of I feel like he's probably not afraid. I feel like he's got nothing else left now.
No.
Well, I've got some breaking news for you guys. This is breaking news.
What now?
So, Well, I found it. Yeah, this is a bit, well, whether it's true or not, we will find out. Harry's touching reason for moving back to the UK with Meghan Markle. Daily
Harry's what?
Records. They could be possibly moving back to the UK.
Good luck to them.
No.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been living in Montecito after they sensationally stepped down from their roles as senior members of the royal family, but one expert reckons they might move back. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle might be considering a move back to the UK, as suggested by a former royal butler. The couple who famously stepped away from royal duties.
Is that Paul Burrell?
Well, it hasn't got to the Paul Burrell. Despite the, hold on a minute. Let's have a look and see if it is Paul Burrell. Doesn't say.
Got my money on Paul Burrell.
They just hired a UK publicist. I don't know why, because they don't live in the UK.
Well, maybe they are moving back.
An ex-royal butler previously hinted that the Sussexes were contemplating a more lasting stay in the UK, with potential plans to purchase property following their eviction from their Frogmore cottage, based on the Windsor estate. Now, if it is, I'd love to speak to Paul Burrell. Have any of you girls ever had a chance to speak to Paul?
Do you know what?
He has hoarded himself so much out. He has
hoarded himself. That is brilliant, Paula. That is probably the best line I've heard all day. That's
true.
Wonderful.
It's true. I feel
true,
like,
though.
well, he's like Harry and Meghan at this point.
Yeah.
He spoke to that many people and he said so much, and it sort of
he doesn't speak for Harry and Meghan. He does. He knew.
He's like Harry and Meghan.
But that's about it. Then he's been ousted.
I have to tell you, Victoria, I can't see Meghan go back to the UK. I can't see it. I cannot see her. Like, she met Harry in London at Heathrow. Like, she stayed in the airport and made him come. Like, she didn't even leave the airport to meet up with him somewhere and then go back to fly over to Nigeria.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, before she hooked up with Harry, she used to travel a lot to London, and how she loved London. I mean, all the tick posts in London, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 20. I mean, she used to do at least 3 trips to London.
She didn't even leave the airport.
I know.
So she's still defrosting then. It might take a few years.
Is it true that when Harry come back for that, Charles offered him a place to stay in St. James's Palace, and Harry said no because it was too accessible to the public and there was not enough security? Bear in mind, Charles was in the UK and he was staying at Clarence House, which was right next door, so security would have been like pretty much up there, but instead Harry chose to stay in a hotel. Like, can you imagine? Like, this is someone who's on TV saying that he wants healing, he wants to move on, and yet he's making decisions like that. And I bet you that's why Charles is gone. Do you know what? I'm not meeting you.
And that was the article that I was going to read out.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. That was what I was going to go into, because he did refuse the accommodation from Charles, and he was furious, Charles. So he was really offended. It says here, hold on 2 seconds. Prince Harry turned down an invitation by the King's State Royal Residence when he visited the UK earlier this month because he had security concerns, like you said. And he is said to decline his father's offer because it did not come with any taxpayer-funded personal security provision, which would leave him staying in a visible location with public entrance and exit points and no police protection.
No one was getting in there.
I don't think anyone wants to take Harry.
Nobody gets into Karen's house when the King is there.
You what, Paula?
Nobody gets into there when it's one of the King's residences. They're heavily protected, whether the King is there or not.
He is, and this is not a clinical opinion. Nobody come at me for this. Harry lives in a very delulu world about security and the threat.
He's very paranoid, isn't he, about
security?
Is.
Well, you know, they do a lot of, it does. It impacts paranoia extensively. Anyway, some of the stuff he's done impacts it. It actually leaves me to believe that the tales of his substance use are not far off, because the substances that he's admitted to using, when you overuse, paranoia is like
I mean, did he was he really deep into that? Because I mean, I know if you dabble a bit, does it still give you that paranoia,
no,
or is it something you need to be kind of hard? Yeah,
dabbling, but like
yeah.
shrooms and marijuana,
Okay.
especially the new stuff, the legal stuff. We're seeing huge problems here in Canada with the legal THC,
The
because
ayahuasca, especially.
oh my God,
Oh, wow.
and sometimes the brain just goes snap.
I was
And
having
that's
this
it.
argument with Andy because he says there's no way that Harry's taken it maybe once. I don't think so. This man, when the reason why he reached out to Gabor Mate is because Gabor Mate is a huge proponent to ayahuasca use.
And using
He needed
psychedelics for
somebody-
therapy.
So
Yeah.
he needed somebody who
Yeah.
would give credibility to his
To his
constant
drug.
use of ayahuasca, saying that
Yeah.
was okay. He
Yeah.
shouldn't even be taking that because
No.
he is in a visa in the United States, which means he's liable for federal law, and he doesn't have, unless he's been diagnosed with
PTSD
chemical,
for using it.
you
So
know,
that's
like,
the thing.
he's
So
not.
when we talk about using psychedelics for therapy, I'll blab on, but this we are using it. We're trialing it. Alberta has got a clinic in the south that's trialing it. But what people don't understand is that it's, first of all, it's people who are diagnosed with like CPTSD, so complex trauma, who have tried therapy, medications, equine, who have tried every other form of therapy known to mankind. And this is their sort of their last, like, okay, I'm going to try this. It's with doctors, psychiatrists, pharmacists. Like,
It's in
there's
a
a
controlled
whole
environment.
it's a controlled environment.
Yeah.
It's dosed to your weight to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
You're in a chair when you do it with a therapist who's walking you through it. Like, you're not going to your local dealer and saying, "Hey, got some shrooms?"
Well, yeah, and it doesn't.
Bathroom.
But the when you microdose the shrooms, I think it isn't. You don't get high from it. It is a antidepressant. I think if you're in a very bad way, it can bring you out of that it can bring you out of that mindset. But like, I know there are lots of places that offer these kind of microdosing experiences and or intense shroom experiences to kind of get you out of that rut. But if he was using it recreationally, then it's a bit different.
And I think
the thing is though, Victoria, that this man is using he's exaggerating that his mother died 27 years ago to justify the use of drugs because he's an addict. I can't.
Allegedly, he is an addict.
No, it's not an allegedly.
Oh.
If this is a man who goes and is saying, "I am consuming these drugs," as advocating for it, and if you look at it, his whole speech is about drugs. His book is how much drugs he did. He goes and gets Gabor Mate. He goes on interviews and said he's consuming this drug. Oh, cocaine didn't do anything for me, but I did this, and I'm still doing that. I'm rolling a joint outside of Tyler Perry's house while my wife is sleeping with the doll that we called Archie. This is him speaking. If you look at this, drugs are pretty much at the center of everything because
he's got a whole clear,
allegedly.
He's made it clear that he doesn't function without them.
Allegedly. His whole deportation is all about drugs. So with Harry, his whole thing has been throughout his books and all that. So people are going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because he's spoken about it. So he's made that his stage. But someone said about him looking homeless, and he does. I feel like he does.
We're moving into a different realm now. Homelessness.
But you hear him.
He's talking about that.
He's not a well-presented person anymore.
He's not at all.
No.
He's having a hard time. He's married to Meghan. What do you expect?
True.
There was a dinner.
Through the middle of it.
Listen, guys, there was a dinner about 5 days ago.
Yeah.
And hosted by African Parks in California, where Harry attended with this other actress. And she posted the picture on her Instagram account, right? Saying, thank you to Prince Harry for attending African Parks and blah, blah, blah. So we all went and left comments. Oh, really? How about the backup people? Why is he doing there having dinner? And she removed the picture. So we know that Harry went like 4 days ago with this lady. She's an actress, like a B-list, D-list actress. Her name, let me see.
He likes those.
Okay, he likes those. Her name is Holly Robinson Pete.
Oh, yeah.
And she deleted the picture. She deleted the picture.
Yeah.
Because everybody
tried to share the screen, not working.
Yeah, Holly Robinson was kind of she's kind of a
she's a D-list, like she's a nobody, but she
Now,
posted
show me that again. Sorry, let's see that again. Let's see that again.
Oh, that's
she
have you
posted
seen
that
that before?
picture, and I think that Harry told her to take it down because I mean they don't like people to know that they're still hanging around with African parks because everybody went at him. Including me, Molly, everybody, like, where's the Baka people? Where's this jerk, doing this? Maybe, well, oh, it's so nice to see that he's drinking wine or drinking champagne while people are getting raped and murdered in Africa by the African parks rangers that he's, president of. So they had it removed. It's gone.
Oh,
we know now. That's the one.
It's
Oh,
there.
wow.
The internet
Wow.
deletes nothing.
Ah.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable.
Because she may have deleted it off her page, but this is Chris Barron Smith. So other people obviously retweet it and screenshot it, and here you have it. The internet lover live.
That's him.
They're saying you need Victoria. They're saying you need some mods.
I'm just saying outright. Does anyone want to be a mod? Does anyone want to take on the responsibility of being a mod? Just let me know.
But look at him. Like, he looks like, look at him. He's like,
he does look downtrodden.
He really,
he's in a hell of his own making.
But then, do you know what? You know what I'm like?
Christine Gilbert says to be a moderator.
Thank you, girls. I've got 3 of you
go.
now. That's perfect.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
I'll chat to you after. Thank you. Perfect.
When you
You're
see him on the
amazing,
stage
girls.
where he tries to edge forward and asks Megan to move over, and she goes out of her way to bridge the gap further.
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah.
And
I
like
see
that
that.
lady was like moving over to
on
make
stage,
room.
yeah, and it's
she
just
was-
it's.
And she does this. She does this,
She
and then
does
she's like,
this.
and she doesn't even look at him. She doesn't even look at him. She's just like,
She's just doing this. And then the one Nigerian lady's like scooting over, and she's kind of like, come on down. I'm scooting over for you. And
you see Harry try to touch her.
like
Like,
doing
doesn't even look at him. It's like,
No.
nope, you're not getting in front of me or next to me. I'm in front of you.
If anything, she made the space smaller. And you see him look down. No, she literally does. She
actually bridged the gap that would have allowed Harry to be in, especially the person on her right hand side actually wanted to move to make.
She was like, I'm over. Like, come forward. And then there's.
But what she could have done was opened up around that position to make him so they both could have fit in easily. But I see stuff like that, and you see him look down, and you can see that this moment of him realizing and self-soothing whilst rubbing the tie.
With his tie.
When he does anything like that,
did he rub his tie?
Yeah, rubbed his tie and did the jacket closing.
Don't feel sorry for that jerk.
Oh, I don't.
No, but he does. Every time he does that.
You don't know, Paula, what's happening in their house. It could be awful. You don't know.
He's earned that. He's earned that. It was his choice. It's his choice to troll. My ex-husband used to beat the crap out of me, and he never got me to denounce my family or to distance myself from my family. Yeah. Even when, I would invite my family knowing full well. And what's the weirdest thing? He'd be so adoring with them, and everybody, he was such so much fun, and everything, right? And when they left,
they're very good. They're very good at masking who they are on the outside world, and they're devils.
I didn't allow my ex-husband to put a distance or get me to trash my own family or isolate myself from my family. I would have never spoken against my family because of that. He has done all of that because he has, you know what, Victoria? I believe that this man, Megan, spotted something in this man because she would have never been able to get this out of the William. Okay. She spotted that this man had it in him. And she basically told him, this is just my take on this. You know what, honey? Let it rip. Because with me, not only are you right thinking that you should be resentful, but it's even worse than you think. Let it rip. You say that William is an asshole. He is a bigger asshole than you think, go for it. So he felt safe being himself with her because she basically indulged that side of him, that rancor that he had, that not only that, she was like, bravo, yes, you're doing great. And then he found himself doing that. We looked at that on that thing on Africa, where she turned around and says, see why I married this man? Is so smart. And you can see that he almost went like floating out of his body.
I have said this from the beginning, and you're right, Paula. I have said this from the beginning. I have said Harry was never a good person. There was always a piece of him that was well controlled and well handled and sort of suppressed down so that he could be the face of this lovely little prince with the royal family. And he was well handled. The problem now is he's got a handler who's like, oh, you're so right. Harry, your family's awful. Your brother's an asshole. You were the spare. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And she just she let that out. She let that monster.
Hang on a minute. Can we just quote her words to him?
Yes.
You are no longer a spare. You are now a man. And for that, I love you. Emasculation.
He's a spare to a D-list. He's a spare to a D-list. He's a spare to a D-list.
Totally.
Now
Totally
he's not even
spare.
a spare. He's not even a spare. He's not even allowed to share stand next to her, share the stage with her.
No.
And I've said
the thing is, Paula, I will agree with you there, because George the Giant Slayer on the Royal Mess, because I've always been like, he's a victim, and I do, and I will. When I see moments like that on that stage, I see it loud and clear what's going on. But George the Giant Slayer said about how no matter what his dad did to him, he would never say he didn't love his mom. And my mom, he broke her in so many ways, but he could never separate her from her family.
Yeah, you know, and you're right, Tina. Can you imagine George the Giant Slayer? And I cried when I did that interview.
Yeah.
At 7 years of age, in a basement, being beaten and being said as a little boy, you don't love your mother. Say you don't love your mother. As a 7-year-old boy, tied. He was tied in a fucking basement, being beaten by that fucking asshole of his father. And he still didn't manage because George, it wasn't in him. Harry very easily crushed his grandmother, his dying grandmother, his dying grandfather, his brother, whatever issues you may have had with his brother, but his brother was always there for them. They both shared the same experiences, friends, and Catherine, who was so nice to him, you know. So this is a man who didn't think twice, and nobody had him tied in a basement, beating him up. So if George the Giant Slayer, I love him, could be as a little boy, had more fortitude than this man, because nobody could tell him that he didn't love his mother. Are you telling me that Harry, a 36-year-old entitled prick, couldn't do the same thing? Those were things, and I've been saying this a lot on my channel, and people hate it. But when I said that, there was something there, and Meg saw it. And not only did she bring it out and told him, it's okay, buddy, let it rip. She praised it, indulged it, and said, go for it. And be even nastier, because the world's going to love you, and that's it.
Well, to follow up on that.
Go for it.
But to follow up on that, I have worked with children in the foster care system who have had the most terrible things done to them at the hands of their parents, living conditions, community conditions, whatever. These kids are put in foster care because that's legally, for safety, that's what we have to do. The number one thing that every single one of these kids says is, I want to go home. 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 They hit their teen years. What do? They start running away. When you go look for them, do you know where they're at? They're at their parents' house. They're at their parents' house. They go home. It doesn't matter what their parents have done to them. They love their parents.
It's a trauma bond, isn't it?
They want to be with their parents. And I think one of the reasons that we struggle with admitting that Harry is and never was a good human is that we never want to look at human beings. And maybe because of the work I've done, I look at human beings and I can be like, oh no, he was a monster coming out of the womb. There was nothing that could have been done for him. And I say that all the time. We don't like to think that there's human beings that are like this, but there is. Jeffrey, you know, the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world, they're out there. They don't necessarily do what he did, but that is out there. And it was the same when Megan did I want to throw myself, you know, I want to unalive myself. I want to do this and I want to do that. And people are like, oh my God, Cynthia, you're such a bitch. I can't believe you wouldn't believe her. And you work in mental health. I'm like, and I'm like, sadly, there are human beings who use that to manipulate and get what they want, because there are human beings who They do.
Yeah.
No,
It just
yeah,
is
I
what it
agree
is.
with you. I agree with you. But
just,
I mean, for example, you, Tina, you've gone through trauma.
Mm.
You know better than anybody that there's no way on earth anybody would have been able to make you talk bad about your mother or anything like that. And you were going through a lot of stuff that would have made your life a lot easier had you done or said
Do you
things,
know
right?
what? Over the times in my life and growing up, I felt angry and bitter with my mom. But as I got older and grew up, I sort of, you understand that she was in the same situation, and like you sort of understand what they were going through as well. Your empathy grows, and as you grow older, you sort of have an appreciation as well for your family. And there are so many people within the aftermath community that had a childhood that sucked, and yet they still go on to care for that parent, because they are family. And here's the thing, like we watch with Harry and Meghan, okay, so if they're as toxic as you say, cut them out, because some
Cut them
people
out.
do that.
Cut them out.
But it's that sitting in the middle, and we love them,
Yeah.
but we slate them. We love them, but America, like they literally got
Yeah.
splinters up their ass. And this is where it doesn't ring true. And there are so many people that have, you know, and like I said, when you've suffered real, and this is the hardest thing, like when you were a real victim of abuse and everything Harry and Meghan claim, a lot of people don't want to be a victim that bad. It makes them ill.
Yeah.
It makes them
It's me,
ill
it's me
because
angry.
they fight being a victim. I'm not, you know, they fight against
not
it.
that.
And that's why the aftermath's grown like it has.
I
But to
know.
watch them just literally bask in this victimhood,
Yeah.
that makes people feel
You
sick.
know, Tina, that is so true. I remember the last time that the police came to our house, the only time, because whenever I called them, they would never come. But this time, it was the caseworker, the crisis center that I was calling to help me deal with what's happening, right? And then because they heard my son's voice, they sent the police automatically. I remember because the policeman said to us, they put it separate my son, Alf, and me in different rooms. And then he was talking, and then he said, I kept blaming myself. It's all my fault, you know, like I just wanted the crisis center to tell me how to deal with him. I apologize, you know, but they weren't asking Henrik. And because what my son said, then the policeman comes and says, you know what? Victims like you don't want to admit that you're in trouble. And like, it actually felt like an offense. And I'm like, victim? I am no victim. Because in my head, I take the beatings and I don't cry, you know, or whatever. And it's like, it felt so wrong when he said it. I felt offended. I said, you know what? I'm not a victim. And he goes, well, anyways, you can't stay in this house. Either you go to a hotel or, you know, or a refuge and stuff like that. But fortunately, I was fortunate and I had means, you know, but it was shocking the first time somebody referred to me as a victim, and it was offensive. I was really offended, you know, because and I remember thinking about that. It's like I feel repulsed when somebody calls me a victim, you know. It's like, no, I'm not a victim, you know. I was just in certain circumstances that I fucking hated, you know, but that's it, you know. And yeah,
I think a lot of women that go through trauma, they're so strong anyway. So when that word is used as a victim, I think a lot of the time it can be taken derogatory because being a victim is seen as a weakness, right? And it can be used, you're vulnerable, and it can be used against you. So when you are intimate and you open up to somebody, they can just twist it like that and use it against you. So you are quite guarded, I think, once you've gone through trauma, because you can't trust people and you can't trust them with your most vulnerable side. So you do put off this wall now, and you come across as a very strong, most women that come across as very strong, and even men, very strong, you know, individuals. But that's a trauma response. That isn't necessarily that they've dealt with it, you know. It's a long-winded process, and it's a journey to kind of get to a point where you're.
This is why it's so offensive, I think, for Tina and for me. I don't know if I can speak for Tina, but for me, it's offensive when I see people like Rachel, Meghan Markle, and Harry playing victims, and you know, it's like, and also for my generation, I'm older than all of you guys. My generation is like, you know, you dislocated your leg, put it back on and walk it off. You know? I literally have done that. My grandpa had done that. Like I've fallen off horses. I dislocated my knee because my shoe didn't come, my boot didn't come off the you know, and then just, and then I was, and my grandpa, okay, is it broken? No. So it's dislocated. Okay. And they had this lady, you know, they always have these ladies in those towns, you know, that are heavy, and they just come in like, And then they just put a thing around like Band-Aid, like really.
It's a different mindset, isn't it? There is a strong generational mindset where people just got on with it because they lived through really hard times as well. My grandparents' generation, they lived through the war. That was a really difficult time for them, and they just had to get on with it. And they didn't know any different because they grew up in the war. So they just had this kind of like get on with it mindset, and they're not emotionally kind of. I think we overthink stuff this generation. We really we analyze everything.
People whinge a lot. Actually, I saw the Matt the Angry Putnik. He did a live. I love him. He's coming with me tomorrow. And he's talking about, you know what? Like he was talking about that in the UK. Actually, they're now that to get to become a fireman. He goes, actually they only hire 2. I remember if you're a bloke with no education, he goes, that was the job for you because you had to help and everything. But now there were only 2 openings, 10,000 applicants, and they gave it to this scrawny little kid. He goes, and this other one that probably the hose itself would track him. And then when you see the fire truck come, you have like Will Smith, with Uncle Phil driving the thing. The guy that danced, the brother was dancing. It's like
Carlton
Carlton
dance. Yeah, he was great, wasn't he? He was a great dancer.
But the funny thing is, like, and we were talking that when we were kids, and he was also talking that I didn't grow up with internet or anything, so we would go to bed, we play sports all day until and we would go home when it got dark. That was our bedtime, but we were so exhausted. And we see women nowadays, they're so out of shape, and for us who grew up being very physical growing out, like with my kid Henrik didn't have any internet or anything like that. It's like, you're gonna go out, buddy, you're gonna be in as many sports as you can, you're gonna come here, if you're whatever. But because I grew up like that, but he was talking about that, and it's just talking about image, like right now that you said, Tina, that we have this thing, and you Cynthia, you said that we have that image and we see them as people. The problem that most people have is that Buckingham Palace managed to portray Harry as good people, good person.
Well, they had to, right? That's the media machine. They
never let go. At 40 fucking years of age, almost, they're still saying, "Oh, that little boy of 12." That's what, 28 years ago. William was also walking behind that coffin, and we're not making excuses for him, are we?
No.
But you've got to think as well, a lot of celebrities, they have, they come across great, but then if you meet them in person, are they as nice in real life? I've met a few celebrities in my time, and I've got to say I was very disappointed.
Yeah. They always say never meet your heroes. Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, or just anyone in the media, basically.
But
that's what I just come across. It's quite bizarre, the contrast in their behaviour. And when I've heard a lot about James Corden, and I think, why do you do that? Why are you that way with people? That it's not human nature to be so unkind, is it? You have to have a level of diplomacy and a level of tact, and they seem to not have any at all. Completely nil point.
I think there's something that happens in the brain where there's like a little snap where you reach this level of celebrityism, wealth and control, and to some degree power, and you're like, meh, I can do whatever I want. I don't What are I
do you think it goes to their head slightly, doesn't it? Well, more than slightly.
I look at some of these. Funny, my husband watches American Idol. And he's like, when you look at some of the original ones that are now huge superstars, the new ones, none of them are, but like the original ones, and they were these little humans from some weird town in Hobunk, USA that you never heard of. And now they're these massive celebrities, and they're assholes. And you're like, you came from some little Hobunk town nobody ever heard of. You got lucky getting on the first 5 seasons of American Idol, and you won it, and you're actually talented, and you made something of yourself. And now you're an asshole.
Well, when
Yeah.
we're all rich and famous girls, we're going to stay kind of,
We'll sit here
down to earth.
with our goblets of
We've got to stay like
Patron
this. We can't let it go to our heads, all right? None of this
Oh.
Meghan shit going on.
Oh, I'm too tired for that
The
shit.
thing is, though, I think when you are born into the monarchy, the only thing you
Mm.
can actually do is be in the monarchy and a part of the monarchy, because you've been brought up with such opulence and wealth, and you don't know anything else, you know. And when you were saying about your grandpa and the war and stuff like that, like, people are out here battling a war just of life right now and trying to feed their children and keep a roof over their head, like you said, Cynthia, with the children in foster care. There is so much trauma out there everywhere you look. Male suicide, you know, people are under pressure and stress. Harry has never really experienced that. And I done
never.
that live where,
Well, Princess Diana did
I-
try to bring him to the homeless thing. I mean, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. You know, like.
But
you know what, though?
That
You bring your children to the homeless. They do that day of charity, which I 100% think you need to do for your kids. Every kid needs to see that. I've done that to my kids. God love them. We did Skid Row in LA. That's a whole other conversation.
Oh, Skid Row. I'd love to go and see that.
Have an organization that I work with. But the reality is they leave the homeless shelter and they go back to the palace.
Yeah.
These are kids that these are folks that can, like, appreciate it, respect it, but they're never going to live it. Like Harry, I got to tell you, Harry and Meghan, there is no way in hell they are not living within their means. They are way on their way to classic bankruptcy at its finest. Harry is never going to be allowed to be bankrupt. Never. Daddy, somebody will write the checks, pay the bills. It will never, ever happen, because there's no way. Like, he will never be allowed to falter financially, even though there's no way. These two have no money coming in and they spend.
But they know this, don't they? They know this. And this is what pees me off, because they are out here literally almost holding the royal family to ransom with their behavior, because they know the royal family have to maintain their silence. They have the Queen's legacy to uphold, to keep that respect. So he can literally, we can speak about this for the next 10 years. It's never going to change, because either that or the royal family dissolves. And I feel like it's literally at that point now where they just have to maintain Harry and Meghan in order to keep them at bay. And, like, you read the articles where apparently Charles and William spoke, and they spoke endlessly about stripping the titles, but they fear the backlash and that Harry and Meghan, it's going to get worse. You know, they're trying to maintain their abusers on the world stage, in my opinion. Like, and it's actually, we're watching Alder abuse.
They're enabling. They're totally enabling.
Yeah,
the royal
but they're enabling it.
Totally enabling this. They've totally.
They know
Harry and
Meghan are going to carry on doing these mock royal tours, and they can't do nothing about it. And Harry and Meghan know they can't,
and they know it
about it, and they will always be there to bail them out of shit when it happens.
And even Meghan,
that's the thing. And they're talking about mental health and bullying. They're not given. You lead by example, and you're not. They're not leading by example, because there's nothing wrong with boundaries, with limits, with you know, like, consequences. You know, even Einstein say action has an equal and opposite reaction. But with Harry and Meghan Markle, there's no reaction. This is a wave that keeps on giving and giving and giving. And I've said this many times. It's not that I mean, the governor of California did not come out on guns blazing for Rachel Meghan Markle. He did it for Harry, because of who's backing Harry. People think it's people in the United States. To a certain degree it is, but it's because these people in the United States have business with the king.
King.
He had the King's Trust that I showed you guys the pictures, and you know that we talked about it, right? I showed you the pictures, the King's Trust gala in New York, where John Legend with Chrissy Teigen attended. Okay, and John Legend was paid like $1 million from the King's Trust fund for him to sing that night with a known bully. Well, I mean, Chrissy Teigen is a cyber bully, and you see all these people.
Oh yeah,
you know, like, oh, the King's Trust. It used to be the Princess Trust. Now it's the King's Trust, because of course he became a king. So now it's the King's Trust. You have Lionel Richie. You have all these people, and this is why. Not because Harry is a smart guy or anything like that. Not because the governor is inchy pinchy with Meghan Markle. No. It's because the king has serious business in the United States.
Yeah.
There is ulterior motives to it, isn't there? And I think that it's kind of like, it's a bit like how Diddy was kind of in the pockets of a few other people within
they've got their fingers in a lot of pies, and it's just, but then it's dangerous as well from from the UK. I just don't like the sorry. Sorry.
I love it. Oh, shit.
Did you see Fergie? Did you see Fergie in Cannes? That woman with a $17,000 dress. Where is this woman getting that kind of money? And then she gets on stage and she starts rambling at people, shouting out them to shut up because she's talking. It's like this woman, and this is what happened. That she's a walking criminal. She should have been in jail when she was caught on that video selling cash for access. That was a complete crime. Okay, but it was a
You're
crime.
not a fan of Fergie, are you, Paula?
You don't like Fergie.
No. And you know why? You know why I don't like that? Because this is why Meghan and Harry can get away with so much, because all they have to do is point fingers. Wait a minute,
Andrew.
Yeah, but you know what annoys me?
Yeah, but it's true, Victoria.
No matter what,
Victoria's like, oh fuck.
No matter what, there will always be a sugar to bring it back to Prince Andrew. But the irony in the fact that I've never seen Harry and Meghan, all the family they've slated, they've never mentioned anything about Andrew.
Yep. And neither of the York girls, and let's not forget that People magazine was featured.
I think we have to be careful talking about Andy Pandy or whatever, Randy Andy.
No, but let's not forget that Eugenie's kid was featured on Netflix and passed on as Rachel Meghan Markle's, because we saw People magazine posted those pictures saying that this is Meghan Markle playing at the beach with Archie, and that is Eugenie. This is Meghan Markle. The kitchen gets help from her little helper, and that is Ashley. And this is why they pulled. You can see that they listened to us, because they pulled that article. That article you can only get in the time machine, because I posted the shit out of that article. It's like, you're lying. That is not our. And that is Jack Brooksbank with Eugenie playing at the beach with their kids, and they use that footage on Netflix.
Crazy.
I think what is so hard for people to understand about old Randy Andy, and nobody likes my opinion on this, and I don't care.
Be careful, Cynthia, please. Jesus.
No. The reality is that he actually didn't do anything illegal.
That's true. I agree with you.
When you look at her age, he didn't.
And I actually think that Virginia Roberts, it's a skank.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. But
I think
he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything illegal. It was inappropriate. It was unnecessary. But when you look at the fact that like Leonardo DiCaprio right now is running around on a beach vacation with a freaking 19-year-old. Now she's legal. It's not illegal. Do I think it's inappropriate and 100%?
I'm telling you what, though, Leonardo DiCaprio does look lovely, doesn't he? Still for his age. Jesus. If I was only 19 again, Jesus.
You wouldn't say no, would you?
No, definitely not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a repetitive issue within the elite. These men
I think it's more so the company you keep, and as we know, there has to be like a clean.
His girlfriend is age appropriate. Keanu Reeves, his girlfriend is age appropriate. She's 3 years younger than he is.
Yeah.
And people are shocked that because
Keanu Reeves is the bomb. He is the one celebrity. So Keanu Reeves, he's from Canada. We love him. We proudly own him. Y'all can't have him. But this is a man who, like, he literally, like, he takes the freaking subway to work, for Christ's sakes.
He looks like a hobo. Oh my God.
He looks like a hobo.
But he's such a nice guy, isn't he? Don't you think?
Nice guy. And he's had so much stuff happen to him. When you learn about his life journey, holy shit. Like, this man has been through the ringer. He's been through the ringer. His wife is lovely. When they look at each other, you're like, oh, this is good. This is nice. This is not J-Lo. Like, Ben.
The thing is, Keanu Reeves does good stuff. And there's not a camera crew in situ to catch it. It's stories. It's word of mouth. It's what people take from him.
It's a
Yes.
bit like George Michael. He used to do such loads of charity work, and he just went, never said a word.
Never said a word.
No.
You know, and Meghan and Harry try that little, oh, look, we went to Nigeria. And then there was a little release of pictures. Did y'all see? They went to some women empowerment organization in Nigeria. Oh, yeah, it's there. It's on their site. But it's so funny. It's like, okay, so you say that you do all this work, but then we always get these perfect pictures. Everybody's photoshopped. Oh, Megsy's in outfit number 7 of the day. Yeah. And it's perfect. And you release that. Whereas you get like Keanu Reeves, like you get nothing. You get pictures of him on the subway. Someone snapping going, is that Keanu? I'm not sure.
The best karma that comes back is when you do things quietly, I think, and you're humble, you know. But in other news, guys, Prince William plans to put young royals centre stage and end the slim down monarchy. So we could have some more working royals. We could have no.
I know you're gonna say your girls. No.
Princess Beatrice,
daughter.
Princess Eugene.
This is actually Sarah Ferguson who's putting out these articles, so you know.
Really? Oh, yes. Paula, you just have so much information. I can't keep up with it, to be honest.
Because she wants her daughters to be front and center. Did you see that skank of Eugenie? She just went to a garden. She couldn't shut her mouth out, and then she had to make an Instagram post about it. Oh, it's so great to support my family. Which one? She has been at the center. She was the mole, because you know that when the queen died, they gave information, different information to different members of the royal family. And they told Eugenie that the queen was coming by train. The next thing we know, Omid and Harry and Harry, they didn't tell Harry anything. Okay. And Eugenie went and told Harry, and Harry went and told Omid, and this is why Omid said that the queen was coming by royal train. So, and this is Sarah Ferguson. This is why Sarah, this is why Fergie, you suddenly see her wearing those regal dresses, 13,000 pounds. And she feels that she can tell an audience at Cannes Festival, or at the Amphar thing, that these people are elites. They raised about $17-20 million that night because it was from Amphar. So she feels, it's gone to her head that she thinks that now she can go to a stage filled with billionaires who are donating millions of dollars and tell them to shut up because she's talking. Because nobody cares about her, but it's gone to her. Look at the dress she was wearing. It was posh. It's $17,000 on that dress. And she got angry because they weren't listening to her, because she's a joke. But she's the one putting out those articles and paying. I know, because one of the editors, I got this info. And this is, when you see that, it's not the royal family putting this out.
No.
And it was
they are a bit sparse on the working royals at the moment, aren't they? So I kind of thought, well, that must be true. Let's bring in the young bloods.
Well, do you know what? Maria Jane.
I'm going to clarify. William did invite Sarah and Peter, but he did not invite Eugenie and Beatrice. It was the king who invited them. This is why William had Sarah and Peter there, because you know, since the king said those two are coming, that he invited Sarah and Peter, not Eugenie and Beatrice.
It would change the whole dynamic, though, wouldn't it? If they were kind of working royals, it would be really interesting if that happened. Because
I don't think, though, that Eugenie and Beatrix are interested in being working royals. Like, first of all, they're going to take a pay cut. Let's be honest. And their rules are going to change. These girls have a lot of freedom to do a lot of shit, to do a lot of stuff. And they sort of they toe the line just enough that they get all the perks of being members of the royal family, but they don't have to do the work.
Yeah, a bit like being the spare. It's cool.
Yeah, right? And they both have husbands who, I don't know that their husbands want to be working royals, because that's what would have to happen. And they have husbands that I don't, and somebody just commented, Azara and Mike, let's make
I was just going to say.
At the moment, Eugenie and Beatrice are getting all the perks and privileges of being royal, because they're many doors open to them.
They're
because
so connected.
Without having to do that, because that's what being a royal does. It opens Rolodex to the A-list.
So why would you go be a working royal, take a pay cut? They'd be lower ranking royals. So
Well, to
living in
tell
a,
you the
you
truth,
know,
to tell you the truth, by Beatrice and Eugenie coming to the garden party, their stock went up in the A-list,
yeah,
or with the A-list crowd,
100%.
you know. So yeah, it did. It went up with the A-list crowd because they saw that, oh, they're still with the royal family. But
Yeah.
this is what Harry and Meghan want. They want to be one of the at least to one event, you know, because then their stock goes up. And
You know
and
what though? I feel like
Mm.
Zara and Mike, and like it's all there in the side chat. I feel like they should just take one for the team and just become working members, because I think it will blow the royal family into the stratosphere right now.
Oh, can you
Zara and Mike.
imagine? Imagine
Can you
Catherine and
imagine?
William and Zara and Peter and what's her name? Her husband's name? Mike
Duke of
Tyndall.
Edinburgh's daughter, Lady
Yeah.
No,
Louise.
Mike Tyndall
Oh,
and Zara
Mike
Tyndall,
yeah,
and then Lady Louise
yeah,
and her
Peter.
brother, and
Yeah.
then but can you imagine Catherine and William with Zara and Mike? That would be
Be like,
Yeah.
What do
who
you
are
think Harry and
Meghan?
Meghan would think of that, though? I mean,
Oh.
that's going to rub them up the wrong way completely,
cares?
isn't
There
it?
would be, there's already no plates left in Montecito. I don't know. They'd start hitting up the glasses. Her 50 jars of jam would be like hitting the wall.
So what is this
The ones
smashing
that have been
plates?
returned.
So he's smashing plates in the house. Is that right?
It's a
they don't
running
live in
joke.
the house. They don't live in that house.
It's a running
running
joke that
joke.
every time something happens with the royal family that's positive, that Meghan's slinging plates at Harry across the kitchen.
Oh, wow. My granddad used to do that with his dinner, throw out the window. He didn't like it. He used to smash the window and throw out the window. Crazy man.
Have you seen how the press have been really pushing how successful, what a missed opportunity, the royal family, and this and that, how great Meghan and how great they were in Nigeria. And I'm like thinking, really? They were great?
I know.
Meghan has naked parading in a heavily Muslim country, and even the Christian side very, very conservative.
It's very
And the things that she did, you know, like grabbing that mic, you know, like going, give me the mic, give me the mic. No.
But the press are out there to cause divide. They're out there to create conversation, to go against what everyone actually wants, just so people speak about it. You know, the people are really down to, like, we understand what the press do, you know, and when you see headlines like that, you're just like, well, no, because that's not what anybody wants. You know, we don't want Harry and Meghan
They want to gaslight us. They want to gaslight us.
Yeah, they do. And they want to
You know what? This is what I want to talk to you guys about. You know that Miss Anne Harriman, I sent a clip of what the National Portrait Gallery sent me, right? The email that they sent back. This is my firm belief that Miss Anne Harriman said, he sent the portrait, and then he has said that, my portrait isn't part of the permanent collection. And then he had certain outlets congratulate him and congratulate the National Portrait Gallery as a great thing to do, because now it's in Hello Magazine and Hola Magazine, People Magazine, PA thing. Oh, Miss Anne Harriman posted that his painting, instead of them contacting the National Portrait Gallery, and actually the only person who did, they got a response from the National Portrait Gallery saying that they don't know where they're going to put that, because, and the people who we call, we don't go by what Miss Anne Harriman said. I got that statement that I sent you guys. I even put it there, where they say that they haven't done it. They don't even know where that's going to be out or anything like that. So I believe that Miss Anne Harriman is doing that. He's doing a Meghan, which is, if the National Portrait Gallery does not indeed,
they can't say no now, can they?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But this is a man who will do another black and white video. I think they will. I think this is a man who's going to go another black and white video, because they're racist, because they didn't put his portrait. But you know what? The National Portrait Gallery, I don't think they're going to do that anymore, because I got that answer, and the newspapers, the only newspaper who called, they said there's no plans of putting that anywhere out there. You know, it's like, but he's doing that. He's the one paying for those articles, congratulating him, because the papers say that he is the one who posted. Because when the National Portrait Gallery, I don't know why people don't put their thinking hats on, when they actually have something to announce that they've done, they announce it.
Yeah.
Not the person who receives it. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, I feel like they make all this smoke around it, the smoke and mirrors, So the National Portrait Gallery are like, oh God, if we don't do this now,
He's
and
gonna do
it's
another
all
black and
out
white video.
there, we're going to make the headlines in a negative way, whilst Miss Anne's doing videos about racist incidents that he's felt has happened to him. So I feel like they grow all the around it to put the pressure on to make them accept that picture and put it out because they don't want the negative headlines.
I
And
think they will. I think they will. I think they're going to let it die.
I kind of agree with you, Tina, actually, because there's this, a lot of people are very scared to even have an open discussion about certain things, especially racism as well. So I think you're right. It's kind of like, right, let's just do this now quickly. And there is this, I feel like it's kind of their relationship that they have, Meghan and, is it Miss Anne?
Yeah.
It's like that they are entwined.
Yeah.
Is it that whenever she meets, she kind of has the same effect on?
Yeah.
And their minds become one, you know?
Well, actually, Miss Anne got Boris Becker in trouble. He's the one who advised Boris Becker to invest his 100 million fortune in a Nigerian thing, and he lost it all. And he's been around the royal family since 2013. There's an article of them with Miss Anne and in Nigeria, where Harry and Meghan are playing. Where Harry and William are playing polo, and Miss Anne is there with Boris Becker, and I mean, and he's been around there all along. So Meghan, is not that he suddenly appears, is that Miss Anne himself was never able to reach certain ranks within the royal family until Meghan came in, and then she saw him around. She saw that he's as needy and desperate to be ranked and linked, and because that video that he did about 2 minutes, oh, I was in first class, and you know what that video was all about? That at the very end he says, oh, isn't it funny, because then the elderly couple said that they're going to the South Bank. If only they knew that I'm a chairman of the South Bank. Because all he wanted to say is that he was superior to those people, that he has money. That was what that video was about, that he's better than they are, and that those two 70-year-old people who were going to the South Bank, he had to say it. He wanted people to know that he was the chair of the South Bank, because he needs people. He needs to be ranked. He needs to be better than anybody. This was not about racism or any shit like that. That whole story was made up, just like those. Oh, he tried to stop 14 cabs. You know, buddy, if I were a cabbie and I saw you, I would drive past you because you look like a fucking weird. I'm sorry. He's a weird.
You're not a cab driver, are you, Paula? Paula, you're not a cab driver, are you?
But I think, Victoria, like, there's a lot of us now that are actually speaking out to the race cards, and we're not claiming to be Nigerian, but we're starting to speak out to it, because I think there's enough people now that are looking at this situation going, no, they are starting to see through it. So when we start
race dating is out of fashion now.
It doesn't bother me it doesn't bother anyone where you're from or what culture you're from. I think we're living in a better world now than we've ever lived in.
100%.
But I think it's the lies we don't want.
Yeah.
And it's the manipulation that we just can't, it doesn't sit right with us. So it doesn't matter whether she's 43% Nigerian or 2% Nigerian. It really doesn't matter. But just be honest.
Be honest.
Why is it such a massive, Rachel said in the side chat, people need to stop being worried about being called racist anymore. The word has been so misused, but there is a reality. And this is the saddest thing with the likes of what Meghan Markle do, what Amber Heard's done, when they lie on the world stage. For those people that suffer racism or those people that are living in domestic abuse, they're going to be less inclined to come out and be honest about it, because they're going to fear they're not going to be believed because someone's played games with it on the world stage.
And you shouldn't play games with it.
And that's the danger, because there are children that still go to school. And this is what I would have liked to see Harry and Meghan do with their platform, as they've been affected by this so much, is go and shine a light on racism that's happening, to go and shine a light on child grief, and I said that live I done on a royal mess, I went and watched after my mate got killed in a car crash, and 3 boys lose their mom in how those boys, that grief would have been taken up instantly by the worry for the dad and how he's going to pay for the funeral and GoFundMe's. Like, Harry's got the great knowledge, actual knowledge in what those like, go and do something good.
Yeah. Instead of building a basketball court in Nigeria.
Yeah. And like, do you know what? There's so much shit that goes on in Nigeria. So you know, and it's like, go.
You could do a lot more. You could do a lot more and make a bigger difference to the country. 100%.
And I'm a believer. This is one thing that's always driven me about Megan. So I'm a believer in sort your own backyard out before you go into other people's backyards. So Megan is an LA based gal, born and raised in LA. Have you fucking been to LA?
I have.
It's nasty. Okay, it's nasty. Okay, you got the elite rich, and then you go 2 blocks down, and you got the ghetto where all their maids and their nannies live. Like, have you been to Skid Row in LA?
No, but I watched that program, Cecil Hotel. Brilliant. Cecil Hotel, Cecil Hotel, where she dies in the tank.
Yeah, there's some good documentaries though that are a little bit more truthful to it. I've done some work with an organization in Skid Row. It is the saddest thing you will ever see. You will work at a place that feeds the people that live there, and you've got kids. You've got little kids coming in, living in tents. You've got women who should not be living in tents on Skid Row. You've got these things going on. LA is gross. Everybody goes, I'm going to LA. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be this. No, it's not, man. They got orange air and poverty all over the freaking place.
The media don't portray that as much for us. We just see the glamorous side of America here, I think.
Amazing places in LA, and if you're willing to just the food, if you actually go to the places that know how to make the food, you'll do awesome. But like, you're an LA girl, deal with your backyard. Go find
help people in your own country.
Go
100% as well.
I live in Canada. We have indigenous issues here,
which Harry says is fixed, by the way.
Hey.
Yeah, Harry's gonna fix all of our indigenous issues with his white colonial. No offense to the UK people, but his white colonial ways.
No, it's okay. I'm not offended. I'm Irish. It's fine.
Right? I'm Russian Italian, but like, he's gonna come to Canada, where he spent 5 minutes on Vancouver Island living in a millionaire's house, and he's gonna fix our indigenous issues. Did you know? Yeah. Sort your own shit in your backyard first before you start gallivanting all over the world.
But then the thing is, that's the thing. That doesn't bring the headlines. It doesn't bring the glamour. That doesn't bring that, does it? And that's what they want.
It's not glamorous, sorting out drug addicts, is it?
Yeah.
No. And is it a fentanyl that is like a spread across the whole of America? Is that correct? There's a massive opiate problem. And meth problem.
We got that, Canada too. We got meth and opiates.
You see, we don't have meth over here.
You're so lucky. Knock on wood, you never do. I'm telling you, it destroys a community in a matter of months. Destroys it.
Definitely takes your teeth away, doesn't it? I've noticed that.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, right, we see all that and we hear Harry go, but I had a scratch on my back. And he shouted at me, and I've never been so scared in my life. And it's just like, I literally was speaking to someone at work, and she said about her sister, and she said how she done it, and she said now like her sister punched her straight in the face. And she was like, and I was like, yeah, sisters, and like Harry came out. This is his levels of trauma. Bear in mind, we watched him rocking on a sofa with Gabor. But this moment where him and William had this squabble and he broke his necklace, this really got to him. And it's like
kids that choke each other out. They choke each other where the kid
I don't know why I'm laughing, because that's not funny, Jesus.
No, it's not funny, but it's like,
no, but we were laughing because that's what
siblings like pulling the kid off.
That's what siblings do.
You do fight with your brother and sister all your life. That is part and parcel of being a child, isn't it? I think. It's how you navigate through the world. I know, and if that's one of the hardest things he's been through, then I can't. I just and being born into money. is actually a curse, I think. And being born into privilege is a curse, because you don't have all the normal things that we have. You know, you don't have the same mindset, and there is that narc behavior, and it's coming through more and more as kind of as the time ticks over. We're just seeing it's like he's revealing himself like an onion. The onion's peeling back,
and you're
and
like, we're just still rotten. Still rotten. Ew. Why is it so rotten in there? Ew.
Yeah. The thing is, right, I just can't imagine.
What's that weird smell?
The fact that they had Oprah around for tea to not
so did I last week. She popped over for tea as well.
This was planned. But when you sat and signed those contracts, surely
they had Oprah over for tea. Who had Oprah over for tea?
Harry and Meghan in Nottingham Cottage.
In Nottingham Cottage.
Way before.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Yes.
When did they have Oprah over for tea?
Literally in the Oprah interview.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They said about how Oprah had come to Knott's Cots and how they just wouldn't believe it.
And Oprah was like, "Oh my gosh, you live here? Oh, but you're royalty. Why do you live here?"
Why was Oprah around for tea?
Oprah would have given her.
Dear Ma says, was it tea and jam?
Anything to be,
I don't know. Was it jam?
You know, like Oprah would have given anything to be living in that shit little place, as long as she could say that she was living there. You know, and so did Meghan.
And this is what kills me. This is coming from Oprah, who Oprah has her own backstory. Now, I don't like Oprah. I have zero respect and time.
Horrible. She's a nasty person.
She's a nasty ass bitch. That woman.
You know what she did to her mother? You know what she did to her mother?
But this is a woman who she's got her own backstory, and how sad that where she's come from, she's 1000% forgotten where she's come from, because she came from nothing. Like,
oh, wait a minute. Let me.
Okay,
I don't know this.
It.
But actually, Oprah got a scholarship to a very posh white school. She was very, very. She was the president of the debate team. She was in all these things. She was Miss Mississippi. But her mother, the reason why she was incredibly promiscuous. Her mother was a hardworking lady, and Oprah, because she went to this very posh school that she got a scholarship for. So that story that she played with the cockroaches, her cousin came out saying, "What is she talking about?" I mean, her mom, my aunt, she didn't have very much, but she was, hardworking lady, normal house, it's not the poverty that she said. And then she had to be sent because she staged a breaking into the house because she hated the couch and the furniture her poor mother had, because she wanted her mother to buy new furniture because she wanted. This is on record everywhere. This is on record everywhere, because when you actually dig into Oprah's life, it's there. The police was called because, of course, the mother comes into the house. Everything is wrecked and broken and everything, right? And this is a lady who's hardworking back then, And then she thought somebody had broken in, and Oprah said, "Oh, they broke into." So she called the police. The police comes, but then when they start investigating, they find out there was little Oprah who did that. So the mother was so angry because the mother, was a hardworking person, and she had to rebuy everything. And then she was very promiscuous. Apparently nobody touched her inappropriately, because that story about her being mishandled, that's a lie. Everybody's like, who the hell is, because it wasn't us. So the mother sent her to live with her father, because she said, I can't control this girl anymore. I really can't control her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had she was Miss Mississippi. She won that, and she won a scholarship. And because of when she became Miss Mississippi, right? She won a scholarship to university or college, whatever the hell. And that's how she started. How she got her break? She was sleeping with a white married executive, who gave her the first break to do her show nationally. And what was the first show? How to Catch a Man. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's why she likes
Paula, your wealth of knowledge is fascinates me. Can I just
did a video.
Your brain?
I gotta tell you, one of my highest viewed videos is not even about Meghan. It's about Oprah.
Oh,
because I've got
to get on the Oprah train wagon, or whatever you want to call it.
That video has like over 500,000 views easily. That video has over 500,000 views. I did a deep dive on Oprah.
Yeah. And Dr. Phil is another one of my contentions. I can't fucking stand him as a mental health professional. I'm like, dude, like he's actually not even a practicing psychiatrist anymore. He calls himself doctor because he's got his MD, but like he's not even actually a registered practicing psychiatrist anymore. He can't. He can't. His show is horrible. I remember watching a chunk of an episode here not long ago. And this young lady, she's like, I don't want her here. I don't want my mother here. This is traumatic for me. He's like, this is my show. I'll bring on whoever I want. And you're just being like oppositional and blah, 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 blah. And she goes, no, this is like, you're triggering my trauma. Like, I can't do this. And he's like, this is my show. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, bitch. I can't stand Dr. Phil, but Oprah made him. Oprah made him who he is.
Yeah. And you know what? You know that Piers Morgan interview of Dr. Phil. And Piers asked him, what do you make of the what Oprah did? That what she went on stage when she did that thing with Weight Watchers, and she actually shamed everybody. This is in September.
She shamed them.
Oh, I didn't take the easy way out. I didn't even use my knee surgery to say that.
But I'm on Ozempic.
And she was already on Ozempic. So Piers Morgan asked Dr. Phil, well, she has every right to say that. So what if she was taking it? She's not. Well, it's called fraud because she was advocating for something. She was on stage representing Weight Watchers, saying that Weight Watchers worked while she was all along taking Ozempic. And the reason why she left and didn't even take the shares for Weight Watchers is because Weight Watchers threatened her with criminal charges.
I knew
because that was fraud to the shareholders and stockholders. That is like when you say, oh, I go and buy Samsung, and Samsung Apple sucks, and all along you're using Apple, and then they catch you. That is right, but it's worse because this is the health of people. People follow her, and she was saying pills don't work, you're a cheater and everything, and she was doing it herself. So that's
she's never lost weight through Weight Watchers. Ever. Anytime you've ever seen her thin, it's pills, it's surgery, it's now Ozempic. She's never, ever, ever been successful in losing weight from Weight Watchers because her body type isn't going to allow that. She's never going to be a size 2.
Apple pie. The fact that she pigs out. No, you know what her thing said? Oh, you know what? I'm taking now this weight because I was able to eat a whole apple pie for Thanksgiving, and I didn't gain the 8 pounds I gained. Like, bitch, push away. Do the diet. Do the push away diet. Push away from the fucking table. Walk everywhere. That'll help you. You don't see an overweight farm worker here. You don't see an overweight farm working at my farm. I'm not overweight. I'm big boob, but I'm not over. I'm 5'7". I weigh 134.
Wow, you're smaller than me. I'm 5'4.5", and I weigh 140 pounds.
No. The thing is, I have big boobs. You see,
I just look like I'm pregnant all the time. It's a swollen gut.
The thing is, you know why I became anorexic? Because of my boobs. Because I have to be literally on 80 pounds to be an A cup.
Yeah.
Which is not healthy. So
and right now, once I had the kids, they stayed big, but they were always small.
Thankfully, they're not small. I have very good boobs, guys. I don't mean to brag. I don't have very many nice things, but
I can see, Paula, they're beautiful.
I've got
they don't fall. They don't fall.
They're well positioned.
No, but I actually wanted to have them reduced, and this is a trick, lady. So you should know. You know what the plastic surgeon goes? He goes, okay, lift your hands, and we're gonna do the lift your arms, and we're gonna do the pencil or the pen test. And I'm like, the pen test? What the fuck is that? So you lift your arms, right? And if your boob, and they stick a pen here. And if your boobs are really falling, and they lift the boob and put the pen, and it holds the pen, then it is time for you to actually get a lift. No, it's here. It's here.
Oh, here.
And then you put the pen here. Yeah. If your boob manages to hold the pen, you need
a well done. Well done, Cynthia. Good job.
To be honest with you,
lift them up.
I've got Meghan Markle boobs. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I don't anymore.
No,
I can't hold a pen.
I'm not gonna get them out because I've not got any bra on. I took my bra off halfway through the
night. That was the thing. I didn't know that. I was like, and he goes, Paula, I do have your boobs. I'm like, I want them gone because I want them gone.
So I have to say, what aggravates me about this shit, especially like
Megan, okay, I need a lift, DMR. I need a lift.
who's
Do
like,
push-ups.
so
Do
I
push-ups
struggled
and
with,
dips.
I struggled with like ED from the time I was a kid. Like I'm 5'4.5", and I mean I was a marathon runner, and I was
You're so tiny.
110 pounds, 104 pounds after having babies because I didn't eat and I just worked out all the time and I did all this shit. And I'm now like a whole whopping 136 pounds for the first time in my
That's
life.
nothing. But you look
No,
healthy.
thank you. And that's just it. I'm healthy.
You have big
And I
boobs.
eat, and I do stuff, and I have boobs. I never had boobs my whole life. I was like flat chested my whole life, which was another insecurity because I'm Italian Russian and they don't have small boobs in my family. And it just aggravates me because it's like for the first time ever, I'm a human being who like I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy. I eat.
If you want to lose weight, I'll give you a good trick. Okay, I'll give you a trick. You get like one of those tequila shots.
A what?
Yeah.
Tequila shots.
You're not suggesting
Tequila
drinking
shots.
tequila, are you, Paula?
I got
to
some
lose
tequila
weight?
in the cupboard.
Measurement. I'm just giving you the measurement. Get a little empty tequila glass, glass of shot. A shot.
Yeah,
Oh, just a shot glass size.
And you fill it with olive oil. And you take that at night before you go to bed.
Okay.
That shit is gonna make you burn fat. In the next day, you continue burning fat. And then you
Okay.
start
So
burning fat.
I only cook and use olive oil. That's
No,
it.
but this is not cooking olive oil. Before you go to bed, you take that shot. Don't mix it with anything. Just the little shot of olive oil.
I don't need to lose
It-
weight.
And
Yeah.
no. But it's not about losing weight, but burning fat. There's a big difference
Oh,
between
okay.
losing
Yeah,
weight and burning fat.
But the thing
Okay.
is, here's the funny thing though, in my marathon running days at 110 pounds, I had girls that would outrun me. Their speed was faster than mine. They were bigger than me. I could never accelerate my speed for the distance because my weight was so low. Whereas now, like I garden, I walk to work in the summertime, I walk to work every day. I garden, I lift, 50-pound bags of shit to take it to the garbage can and all that stuff like that. And I have more power at 138-ish pounds than I ever did at 110 pounds.
But this is one of the things I
Couldn't do it.
people because my first career was physical therapy, and my dad was a body weight lifter, and he won championships worldwide and everything. I used to weight train with my dad. Whenever you don't think about weight when you go to the gym or anything. Gather strength and shape will follow. Muscle weighs more. It has less volume than fat. So when you're exercising and you're doing things, sometimes you'll think, shit, but I'm weighing more, but your clothes fit looser because your body tones shrinks, but you're heavier because you have more muscle, and muscle is heavier than fat. Fat has more volume.
I would never eat enough to get there. Because it was the number.
I do notice if I start putting on weight, and I'm very conscious of it, so I start cutting down on the food because I just don't want to be. I don't want to be immobile. I want to be able to be walking around and still be active, and I don't want to get to a point where I'm like literally struggling to walk. And I see some people like that, and I think,
if you're doing exercise, don't think of weight. If you're doing exercise, forget the weight. Because you're going to gain weight because muscle is heavier. But you're suddenly see that your clothes are big on you because you tone parts of and don't think of doing exercise. Victoria, people think, I'm going to go to the gym and do 200 sit-ups. Fuck that. That's the worst thing you can do. My dad, I'm going to send you guys pictures of my dad. My dad never did more than 15 reps. Yeah. And what he would do, if it became too easy to do 15 reps, then he put much more weight here. To do, and then he would go slower. He would go slower and slower and slower and getting up slower. You because the muscle,
it's
the
intense cardio. Well, intense.
No. It was
weight training.
Because what it is, your abdominals are what balance muscles. And if you're doing cardio 200, then you need strength because actually your abdominals should hold your back. If you have strong abdominals, you have very little back problems. And because this is the center of your body. Yeah. So my dad never did 15, and my dad used to laugh. And I'm going to show you guys. My dad at 76, he was still winning first prize on weightlifter, beating all the guys. So you gather strength and don't think about the weight. think
And this
about
is where
getting strong, getting healthy, looking fucking healthy, you know, like do that and eat normal, you know, try.
And eat
Of
normal,
course,
have
you know, if you're
fun.
going to be like Oprah and eat a whole apple
It's
pie.
the core strength.
And this is where I
you're
go
right.
back, where it's like people, you have this like, so it's so funny. Who's our T? You know who I'm talking about? Our Irish fellow that we got to get on here one of these days. You know who I'm talking about? He takes the piss out of Meghan and Harry.
Paula, you've got
Anyone's
to find
welcome on this.
Ron,
And-
This is
Oh,
rogue.
What's
And
his
he's
name?
talking
Simon.
Simon, and he's talking
Simon
about
Robin.
he's talking about, so ladies, is Meghan your advocate? Is she who you want to be as a feminist? And I'm thinking of Meghan, who's clearly on Ozempic. She's freaking bone thin to the point where you're seeing her pelvic bone through her dress. And she's up on a stage talking about female empowerment. And I'm like, first of all, you screwed enough men in your life to have your career. And then you like latched onto this fool. And look at you, you're on enough Ozempic to like take down 15 diabetics. And you're standing up on the stage talking about women empowerment.
That's
Really?
disgusting. That woman is a real skank. You know, I gotta tell you. No, and I mean, I'm gonna give you another tip for the hair. Okay, for the hair. So I think I don't know when was the last time I actually washed my hair in the shower.
Oh, every 8 days. Every 8 days. That's it.
No. I don't. You have never washed my hair in the shower. No, for the past 27 years, I haven't washed my hair in the shower. I wash my hair in the sink. Why? First of all, because I hate wasting water. Second, because hot water is the worst thing for your scalp and for your hair. Okay. So I usually get on a sink, on a basin or whatever, and I get as cold water as much as possible, because first, it's amazing when you get that cold thing on your scalp, and it stimulates.
It closes the hair shafts, doesn't
Then
it?
not only that,
water.
it stimulates the circulation in the scalp, and it's good for your scalp, and it's good for your hair. And then I wash my hair, and then what I really well, you know, in the sink, not with running water, but with cold water. And then when I'm done, you know, what I do is I put my hair in something, you know, one of those pins, and then I go take my shower, which is faster. And my hair, since I don't use hot water, you know, it doesn't brittle my hair. When you have hot water, it opens the pores of the follicles, and the oil that is trapped there, it runs. You're ruining the scalp because you need that follicle. And I brush my hair a lot because you have oil. Your follicles produce oil, and the oil is specifically for your hair. So when you're brushing your hair, you're putting that oil through your hair, and it protects it. And when you use cold water instead of hot water, and the reason why I tell you use the sink is because, you know, most people don't like cold showers. So if you go take a cold shower, trust me, you'll feel wonderful with cold water in your hair and everything.
I'm gonna try that.
Try it for
apparently, you know, the
I'm
ice
pretty much
baths.
the basic bitch, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't do. I have my
Now,
nails.
I have to be honest, I've had to use heat over the years because unfortunately I've worked in places that there's a lot of little things that live in your hair. And one of the best ways to get rid of them is heat. Is
What
the
lives
blow
in your
dryer.
hair?
Yeah,
The blow dryer, it dries them. It dries them out.
Yeah,
it's making me.
No, but if you're in a place where you don't have bugs in your hair, do that.
It comes with working with children, don't it?
But brush your hair is healthy for your hair, and you see it. You know, people say, "What's
cold is very."
I brush it all the time, but don't use hot water. Hot water is the worst thing for your scalp,
And
for your hair.
People think, I work with people who think they have to wash their hair every other day or every day, and I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, how long? Your hair's great. How long do you?" And like, how? I'm like, 8 days, and they're like, "Ew." Isn't it greasy?
You know, because
like,
especially if you're brushing, especially it. If you're brushing your hair, it's like a cat when they clean themselves. If you're brushing, you're constantly cleaning the scalp. You know, and
I'm like, no, every 8 days.
I don't know how we've got onto hair, to be honest. It's all got a bit sideways. Girls, I've really enjoyed tonight. I think we've had a really good chat, and I think we worked really well together. So if you want to come back on next Saturday, do you want to do it again? Come back on next Saturday.
I had promised not to do any more lives on other channels, but I will do yours.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure.
You know what though? It's just like a girly chat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, and we can talk about hair. We can talk about.
I'll give you that. Use cold water. for your hair. You wash it, and you'll see in when you put the cold water, and even in your face, it's amazing.
Well, the ice baths are meant to be
Yes.
really good for you, aren't they? They make you really happy.
Yeah.
They produce all the endorphins, and
And then when
apparently
you
it's
go
like
to the shower,
taking
hot water. If you like hot water, take the hot water, but then you'll do it only in your body, you know. But you'll see with the cold water, your swelling goes down, the pores close, the blood, it promotes the circulation, your face looks nice, you know. So
should we just do a health channel? let's forget Megan. No more Megan. I think we just do a health channel from now on, because no more Megan, just health.
We can do everything. But you know, this is just, it's just that I'm saying this, guys, because I was anorexic. And my dad, I remember when I became anorexic, he goes, Pat, well, my middle name is Patricia. Pat, what the fuck are you on? You know, because I used to be so healthy and sporty and everything, but it just, my boobs, you know, especially when you are in a certain age in high school. And then, and then after a while, you know, I ended up in a hospital, you know, with intravenous feeding and stuff like that. And then I had to get myself back into the routine. And it's like being an alcoholic. You never lose that. I lost the taste for food. I remember before I became an anorexic, I used to, you know how your mouth waters for things when you're thinking of food? I lost that. And I'm never hungry, but I know I have to eat because I have ulcers. So, but then later on, my dad, you know, with my dad, who was amazing. He would like, Pat, fuck that, you know. And my dad's Canadian, you know, it's like, fuck that, Pat. So we would train, and then, you know, because I was so conscious of the weight when I was training, I was gaining weight, and my dad goes, Pat, don't think of the weight. How are the clothes fitting? You know, I was still a rack, but I still wanted to be thinner. My God,
it's a psychological problem more so than
But when my dad said,
and what do you do to stop yourself going back there, Paula? Because it must be quite difficult to not go back into that headspace, or have you just completely?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I did have. What was? I was in Latin America when it happened. You know, one of my best friends, I remember, it was crazy. I remember I used to work for USA. And during my lunchtime, instead of eating, I would walk in the middle of the heat. I would walk from USA like 10 blocks down or 20 blocks, you know, and then go back and forth. And then one of my mates, one of my best friends, may he rest in peace, I remember would come and pick me up for lunch, and he would say, Paula, you know, come on, get in the car, you know, let's go eat a chocolate thing that I really liked. And I said, shut up. And then I passed out, and then I woke up at the hospital. And then how I got out of it is like my dad. It's like, Pat, I can't fucking believe you're such a quitter. You know, you're shaming me. You know, you should be embarrassed of yourself. Look at you, you're all bone. But it was funny.
Tough love.
But it was a lot of humor. My friends would say, I remember. Okay, I'll tell you when I knew I was being ridiculous. My cousin and my mates, they had this barbecue, and they're cooking and they're barbecuing these ribs, right? And I remember my cousin, she's eating the ribs, right? And she comes with my mate, and they're like eating like that. And then they look at the rib and they put it against me. And I go, oh my God, the rib is more appetizing. They started joking, but not being mean. But we started making fun. So sense of humor.
Yeah,
really,
I think it's having a good community around you and good people you can lean on is really helpful, and a good family too, you know, and good friends.
They make fun of you, you know.
Yeah. I love making a joke. I made a joke yesterday. It didn't go down too well with what did I say?
That's the thing nowadays.
Do you remember what I said on the live yesterday? I said it sounds like you're at a P Diddy party, and and Andrew went, that's not funny. That's not funny.
Yes, it is.
And I thought, oh Jesus. I was like, that's just my humour. I'm just dark. And I'm thinking, oh, he's going in on me now. I still look like down like this. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's a joke, man.
He wants her in his bed right now, somebody's saying.
You know
what? He wants you in his bed. They're saying,
I don't know about you, Paula, but the pandemic was the best thing ever for me because the gym's closed. I couldn't go to the gym 7 days a week anymore. I couldn't go to the gym 7 days a week anymore. I couldn't do it. And it wasn't going to happen.
You have to run around the house, Cynthia.
No, but you know, this is when I started my YouTube, and I would do my 20-mile walks, and I would build my channel like showing the views of Norway to people, you know, because I would go for those long walks. That's what, if you look at my earlier videos, I was mostly outdoors. Yeah. So I was always doing my walks in winter time or anything. I would do my 20-mile walk every day, and I would do my, you know, and I would be listening to stuff, and then I would be talking to people.
Girl,
So
it's cold here. We don't do 20-mile walks in the wintertime.
I do. I love it. You know what? That's one of the
I
things
hate
I
the
love. If
cold.
you look at my videos, I think there's a few videos where I'm literally in a snowstorm.
No.
You know what? I'm really lazy. I am. I'd rather stick pins in my
She
eyes.
just walks around Birmingham. She just walks around Birmingham High Street.
But when you have beautiful
I don't even do that if I
you
have
don't
to.
think, you don't think of it as going for 20-mile walk. It's so beautiful outside. You start
Yeah,
walking and
it's
then you're
true.
listening.
It's
I
true.
used to listen
I used to go
stuff.
hiking. Hiking
Was
is
My
like-
husband just went and done and walked 56 miles for 16 hours straight.
Well done.
And I'm like,
That's so much.
and I go trying to go for a walk. I'm like, why?
Why would I use my legs?
So
For what
we go to
purpose?
Washington. We go to Washington, and my husband calls them Nadine or Cynthia's forced marches, and he's like, "Oh, look out, guys, going on a forced march." Because I'm like, "Let's walk to see this monument. Let's walk to see that monument." And he's like, "Jesus, my hip, it hurts. My hip, it hurts." And I'm like, "You can walk harder, and it'll hurt less." The blood flowing. He's just like, and we brought some friends with us, and he's like, "Welcome, forced marches, forced." Yeah, no, just good. And
But
then
I'll leave you that homework. Wash your hair with cold water
cold water.
and your face.
We
With
have
cold
a
water.
sign
And then
test.
take your shower regularly.
And just keep walking, guys. Just keep walking.
Keep walking,
And
keep
take your
walking,
shot.
keep
Take the shot.
walking.
don't take any drugs, and everyone will be fine. All right.
No, but take a shot of olive oil at
A
night.
little
Take a shot
cider is
of
good
olive
for
oil at
you. A
night.
little cider is good for you.
I love this. I love this. Nana Sherry said, "This is how I hang up with mom or sis. Decide to say goodbye and talk about."
Oh, I know. We are trying to wrap it up here, I'm afraid.
Okay,
Yeah, it's taking a while. Girls, shall we do this next Saturday at 9:00? Are you all up for it? 9 p.m. GMT
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Yeah, we're up for it.
High
Thank you guys in the chat. You've been fabulous. I'm glad you get my sense of humour, because some people don't really like it. So thanks for that. Girls, you've been wonderful. I'm going to put all the links in the description box for your channels. Like and subscribe. Anything else that I need to say, guys? Because I forget. No, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you guys in the chat. You're absolutely wonderful. Love
Okay,
you all.
because we're going to talk a little bit about what we were talking before getting on the live.
What's that?
Pardon?
We're going to talk about what we were talking before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wicked. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Oh, brilliant. Loved it. See you later, guys. Good night. Good night. God bless.
Bye.